Many people ask, what is SPYxFAMILY? How is SPYxFAMILY? When is SPYxFAMILY? But has anyone ever asked, what is SPYxFAM? Okay, scratch that. Anyway, the show posits us with a question, SPYxFAMILY, and today I am going to answer it. In order to understand the question and the answer to it, we do need to learn a bit of mathematics. I know, I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. Hi, I'm 3R1W and I don't know how to animate, so I'm going to use MS Paint instead. Today we'll be looking at set theory, which is the study of, well, sets. What is a set? Well, a set is a thing of things, where the things could be anything, everything, nothing. These things are called elements and basically the units of a set. There's probably more to it, but that's all we really need to know. What we really need to understand is a specific process that you can apply on two different sets called the cross product. So let me explain how that works. A cross product is basically a set which contains all possible pairs of elements from two different sets. Let me show you this with an example. So let's say there's a set A which has the elements 1, 2, and let's have another set B. So the cross product, which would be denoted as AXB, kind of like SPYxFAMILY, see what I'm getting at, would be written as 1, A, 2, A, 1, B, 1, 2, B. So that is cross products. So all we need to do is take the two words spy and family, and we just need to do a cross product between the two of them. Pretty easy. Now for those 4 elements, there were 4 combinations. Here we have 3 letters here and 6 letters in family. So if we match them up, that should be 18. It would be, wait, that'll be 18. Okay, you know what? I don't want to write 18 different things on over here. That'll take like a minute, except the minute will be really long and boring. So instead, let's just take 5 minutes and write it on VS Code. Okay. Alright. Okay, so to start with, let's define the sets that we're going to be using. Okay. S1, alright, that's the variable name, is equal to list. A list is basically a set except in Python. Alright, it's just a collection of objects. Those objects will be the letters. Okay, so the reason why I'm using Python is because it's a really readable language to people who don't know computer science, and also it's the only thing that I know. Seriously, this is the only thing that I was taught. So I don't really know anything else. Family. So these are 2 sets, and now we need another set. This is going to be the cross product. Okay, let's call it product. Mathematically, it would be called S1xx2, but that doesn't sound like a good variable name, so I'm just going to call it product. Now this, just the brackets alone would be an empty set, or in mathematics it would be a null set, which is represented with this really weird symbol that's like a reference to 21 pilots or something. I don't know, maybe the guy who created it was a fan. So now let's get on to the actual cross product. I'm gonna put this in a function, alright? Now def is basically a function definer. Okay, it basically just tells you that the next few lines of code that's inside this is gonna be a function, and a function is basically a piece of code that you can call at any time. Now whatever code I put here, at any time I want, I can just write cp bracket and then it'll just execute it. Oh wait, actually we do need variable names, so let's just put a comma b, right? And the function of this is going to be returning a cross product. So the cross product will be AXB, right? So let's think about how we would actually do that. So a cross product works by matching each element of the first set to every element of the second set, right? So first we need to go through each element to the first set. Now we could either write it down like take A0 plus AB0 and then keep writing that like 3 and 3 and 6 times 18 times total, but that would be even worse than writing it all down. And also that would be worthless, because what if you wanted to find hunter x hunter or ex machina? Those are all valid things you can search for as well, right? In those situations you won't really be able to use a function, right? So instead we're going to be using a special piece of code called the loop. Now, when you're learning loops, your teacher's going to tell you it's a piece of code that can run as a specific piece of code multiple times. Okay, for example, you could do for I in range 5, print. If you execute this, it would print this 5 times. Why? Because this is an absolute worthless use of loops, right? The real use of loops is to traverse a list, right? Which means to do a specific set of actions to every element in a list. So instead of for I in range 5, alright, let's do for I in range S1 and print I. So don't worry about the syntax. It for I in basically means that for the item that's after that, for in this case it'll be S1, I would basically be each element. Now for I in S1 would mean that there are 3 elements in S1, right? So this loop will run 3 times, and each time it would print whatever I is in that particular loop. Oh, I forgot to call the function. In this case that will be SPY. So I just changes each loop. It's what the actual loop is, doing its actions on. So that's traversing a list. So now we figured out a way to get each letter, right? But now you have to take each letter and match it to every letter from the second set. Now how would we do that? Right? That is basically taking one letter and using that to do a specific set of actions on every element in another list. It would be cool if there was a specialized piece of code that would do that, right? For loops, right? So again, let's do another loop there. So for I, we can't actually use the same thing for j in S2. Alright, so now what it does is, let's say print j. Alright, so what this would do is it just prints family, family, family 3 times. Now how that works is, the first loop runs, it encounters the first letter S, and once it encounters that, it does the second loop, the loop that's inside the loop, which is to print, basically it's the same code that we ran before, right? Which basically prints all the letters. So it does that each time there's a letter in S1. So there are 3 letters, it does it 3 times, hence it prints family 3 times. So instead of that, let's figure out something else. We need to add all of this to product, right? So let's do product.append. So this is a special function that basically adds stuff to the end of lists. So if I were to do, let me just show an example of that. It prints 1 because we have added that to it. Alright, before it was just an empty set, and now we appended 1 to it, and then we printed it. So we need to add specific things to this product list. So how would we do that? Well, let's think about it. Let's think about what happens the first time this loop runs. Okay, first time the loop comes to product.append, I is going to be S and J is going to be F. Okay, and if you look at the cross product, that is how it would start. It would be SF, F, SA, SM, SI. So we are on the right track here. All we need to do is put I and J together. So let's do I plus J. And we did it, except not really. You guys see that photo, right? It's supposed to have a comma and stuff in between. Actually, we need a separate tuple. Okay, let me explain what a tuple is. Okay, a tuple is like a list, except it uses these kind of circular brackets instead of square brackets and also you can't actually modify it, so it's like worthless compared to a list, but people still use it for some reason, and I'm gonna use it here. Okay, what the ideal output is gonna look like, it would be this, alright? S comma F comma S comma A. It will be like this instead of this. So how would we do that? Instead of I plus j, we just need to change I plus j to I comma j. Oh yeah, I figured it out. Yeah. And now it should be perfect. And I did it, okay? This is SPYxFAMILY. And you just had to learn a bit of set theory. And you didn't really need to, but you probably also learned Python. That's probably useful. Probably. This was a waste of like 30 minutes of my life, wasn't it? So anyway, thanks for watching.